everyone, welcome back. Kathy here from Santa Marta Designs. Tonight I have for you a really nice fall project. So I know we're in the middle of summer, or actually I should back up, we're in the beginning of summer technically. But it's already time to start thinking about those fall decorations because we're always a couple of months ahead of schedule. I know it's kind of sad. I get kind of sad that things happen too soon. But if we don't decorate now or put our pieces of decor now together, sometimes what happens is you're all out of supplies from the stores and then you are out of luck. But actually this is a fall project that you could possibly do much closer to the time that it gets to fall. So we're going to be using tonight is a lot of leftover things from other projects. So if you had done some fall projects last year and had leftover florals, then now's the time to start gathering up to see what you have left and maybe putting that together to see if you can do something with it. So I was actually going to be using something else, and then I remembered I had all these, and I was like, oh my goodness, great idea. Let's use up all the stuff that we've started using and have left over and possibly do something with it. So this I always want to say Tabasco basket, and it's a tobacco basket. I don't know, maybe I got spicy on the brain. So this tobacco basket, it's a round basket. It's about 16 inches wide. And so that's not leftover. This is a new basket, but I got it leftover on clearance, so that was a great deal. And so this is a leftover piece of styrofoam. I have some parchment paper underneath here because this stuff for the styrofoam was still drying and I didn't want it to glue onto my mat. So I had just placed some parchment paper under there. So we're just going to leave that on there. And then on the back here, I'm shedding. On the back here, we had just put a piece of burlap ribbon, which is a little bit wider than normal. It's probably about an 8-inch wide ribbon. And just a strand so that nothing scratches on your table from the wood or from the styrofoam. It makes a nice soft landing, and then it also covers the green. So you could actually put that right underneath your styrofoam before you glue it. I find that sometimes the fibers don't catch as much as everything else. So I used a combination of quick dry glue to put the styrofoam on along with hot glue. Okay, hot glue I don't always trust all by itself because sometimes it just doesn't stay. So I used a combination of the two, about half and half. I didn't mix them, but I put some on some lines. I put hot glue, some lines I put permanent glue. So that way I know it's not going anywhere. Now, you could also technically, after this, and I have done this before, you could cover this again with another small piece of burlap if you wanted to, because this is a really loose weave, so you don't have any issues with sticking in your picks or your flowers here. So if you wanted to be sure that it would cover everything, but I feel comfortable we're not going to have an issue tonight because look at this guy that we're going to be putting on here. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me make sure you guys get this in the camera frame. So look how cute this guy is. And come on in and say hello. Let me know you're here, where you're from. If you're crafty or if you're just watching for ideas, no problem at all. So we're going to be using this really cute straw turkey. He's made of styrofoam and just some ribbon on cardboard pieces that they've, straightened out and glued together. So he does have a lot of glue in here. So this isn't a piece that I would put outside. This is a piece I would definitely want to keep more indoors. So that's why we're going to go ahead and do a centerpiece with him. Okay. I was trying to think of, gee, what should we do today? And I'm like, we haven't done a centerpiece in the shop here in the design room for a while. So why not? What's not better than trying to do it now? So I know we have a new camera angle, so you guys are going to have to let me know if you like it or not. But so basically he's going to sit towards like a corner, and he's going to have a big open space in front and a little bit on the side. So I kind of put him towards the back side here. So he is kind of back heavy, and we're going to attach him first so that we know he's not going to go anywhere. You know what? I meant to turn on my glue pot, so let's turn that on real quick. And let's make sure. So my glue pot, I'm just turning it on low. Trying to make sure with the arrow is so darn small, it's like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack on the arrow line for the dial. The glue pot is by Bonder, and I really do love this glue pot because it's got a protected bottom, so it's not like a regular skillet where you need to make sure, like a cooking skillet, you need to make sure there's something underneath to not burn anything. This one is actually glue pot, and since I have a small space, it really just fit my needs. It was a little more pricey, but for me, that is what I love. Okay, so to secure this guy into place, we're going to use some of these just little wooden skewers, and they're little ones, and I got these at the Dollar Tree, this whole package. It's basically in like the kids crafts section. So you might find some that are just longer. Every Dollar Tree is different. You might find some that are longer, and you can just cut them down with a regular pliers or wire cutter. So I'm thinking I'm going to want him to be on in at least 3 points. So 1, 2, and 3. So that way he's kind of secure on all levels. Okay. So I think what we're going to do is kind of mark him off. I'm going to give him some marks on his belly. Okay. Just so I know where I want him to, or where I should make sure to not put the skewers beyond. And I'm sorry if my hair has gotten in the way for a minute. Just need to see under his belly side. Alright, so I just kind of marked under his belly real quick, and it's probably very light. Just some 3 lines so that I can make sure when I put in those skewers, I'm not going outside that location and then missing the whole styrofoam piece to put it in. So I'm going to say I'm probably going to cut these down a little bit because I want to make sure it's not going to be extending over and making him look like he's flying up in the air. So I'm probably going to cut about 1 inch off. And if these are too short, you know what, we'll just pop them right back out and use the long piece as it is. But I think a little bit shorter might serve our needs instead. Okay. So let's move these out of the way. We have a lot of stuff, so I'm going to go through and show you some of the leftover florals we have as soon as we got this guy stuck on, and we're going to let him dry. Okay. And then we can go over all the different flowers we have. So I'm just trying to see. I think my glue pot is still kind of warming up. So let's go ahead and use our little baby glue gun just to stick these on for now. And so we're going to turn him to the side there on his back. And you know what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my awl and I'm going to go ahead and help myself and poke some holes first. So that way I know the stick is definitely going to go in and, you know, get us into the right spot. Okay. Because these sticks don't have a point on them. So sometimes you can find yourself having a hard time trying to jab through some styrofoam that isn't pre-drilled. And this one I just made a hole in and it's still being hard to get through. Okay. So good thing the glue had cooled off a little bit. We'd have some hot glued fingers. Hi Angie, how are you, my friend? Angie's here from Conti's Wreath Creations. Okay. And one last one. So you do need some elbow grease to go ahead and poke these in. All right. I'm just going to grab one of these sticks to wipe up some of the glue that's dripping, because we don't need that much excess glue, because it's just going to create a barrier then to get it into the styrofoam that we don't want. Okay. We're going to leave that right on the side because we're probably going to need it again. So now, try to make sure that glue is dried up a little bit. And we're going to stick this guy right into the styrofoam. And that works perfect. Perfect. So we're going to need some more glue sticks because I'm not going to stick the whole turkey in the glue pot. It might be just a little bit dangerous. I don't trust myself in not dropping him in by accident. So we're just putting glue on the other end of our little skewers. Okay. I've been a little generous with the glue, so it's going to be a little extra. And we're just going to eyeball where he needs to go. And we're going to push that right into the styrofoam. And we're going to push as far as we can and make sure he's good. So he's good and sitting now, okay? So if you look there, he's definitely on the styrofoam. He looks like he's pretty well centered there. And we got our angle here that we wanted more here, and more here, and just a little bit in the back, okay? So I think the bottom is fine now. We probably don't need our parchment paper anymore. It's just going to be more noise than anything else. So let's show you a little bit of the florals that we have for tonight. So again, we're going to use leftover stuff. We're going to try as best as we can to use our leftover stuff first. And then it will go into, if we really need more coverage, then we'll go into stuff that we have that's new. Now we will be putting on our base for coverage. This is a bushel of variegated greens that I always carry, and I just pick through the greens as I need it. So I've already picked through this a little bit for some other projects, and then I just cut stems as I need them. So this bushel is good because it's got a very long piece here, a number of stems in fact, probably about, I've got 6 stems or so left, and it had more. And then it's got these short stems. So for this project, we're going to work with the short stems because it's just a round centerpiece. We don't have like a hanging swag or anything like that. So we're going to use the shorter stems. And then I had these left over from Hobby Lobby last year from a project that I bought a few extra because they were running out. And I didn't know how many I was going to need, so I didn't want to be shortchanged. But I had basically one left over of these really, really pretty sunflowers. So look at that. I'm not sure we're going to use the purple because it's a really big offset with no other purples that I have in stock to kind of marry it together. But we're going to see how that goes. And then I had this really big bushel left over that had some really nice, pretty, like burnt orange sunflowers. Some fall leaves, you know, some berries. We've got acorns, you know, just all of the above. And then I think these are called something like Japanese lanterns. They're in the orange range, and I thought they were really cute. Again, left over from another project because we've already used one of the stems that we had, but so this is the only stem we have left, and not something that we have enough of to use in an entire project for like a grapevine or anything. Then I have these little guys that look like, you know, little orange daisies of sorts. So just another hint of a fall color. Then I had these stringing looking guys that I tried out for one project. They didn't really look good and they were already cut, so I've just kind of had laying around. So we might use this in the base to just kind of create some additional layers of things going on. This was very minor leftover. Actually, this is garbage. I was cleaning up. Just very minor leftover, and I might just stick a couple of these in at the very bottom of just some orange little additions. We have some just little feathers here, and I have some more feathers that are in a little bit lighter color. And then we do have a white, which this is more of a cream, but since I don't have any more real white or cream, we may or may not again use this one, but so we'll see how it goes. So we're gonna start with the bottom, okay? So for the bottoms, we said we're gonna look at using these for the bottoms. We're gonna move everything else so that it doesn't get stuck in our glue pot. Oh, and I'll show you some picks too that we might think about putting in along with some just decorative additions. So let's put our bottom pieces here. Let's move all our other stuff out of the way. Oh, and I can show you the ribbon too that we might use based on how we fall out. So we have these really pretty acorns that I got these last year at the at-home store after fall was done. And then these really cute tri-layered pumpkin picks. So we might use these as well. Ribbons that we might do are these here that we have in the shop. So we might use the green or we might use the burnt orange. I only have about 4 rolls of the burnt orange left. And then these here, I do have about 5 rolls of these left. And I'm not sure if the listing is active. If you guys don't see it, you can let me know. But we've been working on updating the shop from our recent deliveries. All right, so let's take our acorns out of the way. Let's bring in our green variegated leaves. And let's bring in back our basket. All right, so let's get started. So our glue pot is fine now. We're good. You're gonna need a decent working wire cutter when you're working with these florals. So I have that little wire cutter that you can use that, you know, you get in the jewelry section, and that works fine for floral wire, but a lot of times when you're cutting actual stems and things, that just doesn't cut it. So do yourself a favor and get yourself whatever a little bit more heavy duty wire cutters that you prefer. And you know, they come in all sorts of price ranges, but whatever works for you, I would recommend investing in one if you're going to be working with the florals. All right, so how many do we have already? 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's cut about 6. So we're going to cut about 6 of them. Oops. Okay. And we'll move that to the side. So now that we have our glue pot warmed up, so these, again, are all on wires, okay? So you can bend them so they look a little more natural looking. all right? And that way they don't look like they just came out of a box. They look more like they came out of nature versus a box. So we're just going to go ahead and form them. Just give them a little bit of twist in life. All right. So the much shorter ones I think I'm going to put towards the back because we have less space. And we can always cut the stem a little bit shorter. So like for this one, I think I'm going to cut the stem just a little bit shorter. Okay, so we're going to work towards the back right now. All right. And I'm just going to make sure that you guys are in view. Perfect. Okay. So I don't want a ton of glue, and it's still a little runny, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit more. And so here, what I'm trying to do is just push this into our styrofoam. Okay. And if I need to bend it again, I can still bend it again. Okay. So I want my smaller pieces towards the back here because I don't want this huge overhang over my basket. I don't mind overhang, but I don't want like 6 inches of overhang on this piece. Just not what I'm looking for as far as a design piece. And then again, like I say, if you feel like this is still going to be visible, we can come in here with lots of different things to cover. So I'm not worried right now, and we can talk about that once we get to that point, okay? All right, so this is a little bit longer one, so we're going to come in here and probably make it so that it goes this way, okay? I will say I held out getting a glue pot because I was like, you know what? Nope, nope, nope. We don't need a glue pot. Nope, nope, nope. And then I went to go make a tulip wreath, and it was a game changer. So, again, it just depends what kind of projects you're doing. Or if you've got some kind of, I don't know, special occasion kind of gift, something coming up. Maybe nice something to ask for. Okay. All right, so this one's going to go right about there. And I know people that do it different ways. Some people stick it right into the styrofoam to check it out without gluing it. And then they take them back out and glue everything back in. I try not to do that because I don't like going back and forth so many times with my projects. I like to just stick it in and get it done. But there's nothing wrong with that method if that's what you choose to do. So it's no right or wrong. Okay. So we're just building the base. And I think we're definitely going to need some more. So we'll bring back our greenery bush. And that crunch is just the greens getting pushed into the styrofoam. So we've got another one here. So we use 6, this would be 7. 7, I think 7's enough actually. So we're going to bend this little guy here. Okay. And just as we're talking, if you guys haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, I would love for you guys to do so as we try to grow our business and presence over on the YouTube space. We're trying to increase our subscribers and get some more views. You know, friends that are crafty and want to recommend our channel to them, please feel free to do so. I actually think, you know what, we are probably going to, so we're at a point that we're still building our base. Let's bring in, before we bring in those really tall straight wiry guys here, before we bring these in, I want to bring in some of these other possible leaves, like these sections here, to see where we could possibly put these before we look to see if we need to bring in some new material that has actual leaves or anything. So let's see. So you can definitely tell some of them I cut the flower off of. And when you have that happen, you have like this really long stick right here because I cut the flower off. So there's going to be an adjoining little fork in the road in the wire, and cut right down to that base. And then you can't even tell that there was going to be a flower there, okay? Same thing with this leaf. There used to be a flower here. And so we're just going to come right down to where that used to meet with something in there. And so we're going to cut these down to use these. And then that way we can see how much extra coverage do we really need. And I'm cutting them long for a reason right now because I don't know technically how short or long I need them. And it's always easier to cut things down versus grow an artificial stem. Once it's cut, it's done. There's no regrowing these. Okay. This one has the acorns. Perfect. Loving the acorns. Okay. Alright, so now we just have the 3 flowers, so let's put that aside because I want to make sure we get to that at a different point. So this was all the filler stuff, okay? So let's work with the filler stuff first. And some of these we're actually probably going to take apart even more. So this has 2 stem pieces, and I think what we're going to do is kind of work these into the bottom as additional coverage, okay? It won't be probably the full thing, but let's work on making them probably about that long. Okay. So let's see. So things like this that I can just kind of put in here and, you know, cover things up a little bit more, get less negative space in the whole concept. And you want to just be careful you're not grabbing that hot glue on top of your other greens or anything else. So this one, I love the leaf, but I think we're going to lose the leaf, and possibly we may add it back in another way. And I'll show you in a minute how you can add that back. Okay. So we've got this acorn. Okay. And I think that guy's going to go there. So, sorry. Kind of had him snuck over a little bit. And you guys can scream at me if he's out of camera angle. We're still getting used to our new camera angle here. Okay, so this one's going to match this one over here on this side. The The only thing I don't like about the position of my glue pot is I have to be very careful to not be getting any of our greens in the glue pot. Okay. It's kind of like the little turkey is nestled in there. And again, we're going to lose that green leaf for a second. Cut this down a little bit shorter. And so I have, I think, 3 berry picks here. We're going to separate this one out again. And here's our 3rd berry pick. This one's a little bit longer than I expected, so we're going to pull this off and do something a little different. He's a little too wide on the bottom for that, so that's all right. So we'll shorten this guy. And we are probably going to come in here, and then here, and then to the back with the berries, okay? We're getting really close over here again. We're going to have to reconfigure where our glue pot goes when we're working with it. Okay, that's 1 berry. And then another one is going to come right back here. Okay. And then our last berry one is going to come on the side here, almost to the back. We may have to pin these. We're going to pin these for now. I'm afraid they're going to land in our glue pot. Okay. Let's come to the back here. And if I'm at a camera angle, please tell me. Okay, so just kind of sticking out of the back, but to the side. I mean, we don't want to look like it's coming out of the poor turkey's bum. Okay. And so before I put in any of these extra pieces here, I think what we're going to come in and do is see if these even make sense in this design. And I think what we're going to do is push all these pieces up if we possibly can without breaking everything. Oh, this one's stubborn, huh? This one I'm going to kind of just lay in here. Oh, he landed in our glue pot. See that? So I'm just going to kind of lay in here and see what he might look like. I think I like him better if he's standing a little more up versus laying down. That just kind of looks like silly. But I also do think I'm going to cut him a little bit shorter. I think we're going to cut him down here. I think we're going to definitely stand him up. In a sense like that. That I like. And can do the other one over here on this side. Probably should have cut that stem down a little bit longer, shorter, but it's okay. All right. And maybe one more. Okay. So we're going to spin this guy around again. And possibly over this way. Okay, now we're going to come in and stick some of these additional little greens and oranges. Again, we're still using that same bushel that we had left over without having to use a ton of new stuff yet. I mean, that's the only new stuff was this, you know, twiggy kind of spray. And we're just going to put a little bit of bend in this. And I think this one's going to go more towards the bottom here. Okay. And this one I think we're going to put towards, possibly I was going to say the front, but we already have a matching piece here, so I think we're going to put it towards the back in this corner. Don't be afraid to hold some of your other flowers down so you don't nick them with glue until you get your incoming piece in there. Alright, so I mean we have this one little lonely leaf. We can stick this guy in there, that's fine. There's no need to waste things. We're just going to come in here, try not to get my head in the camera angle. And so we can come in here with that and just leave that in as coverage. So if you wanted to use these other leaves, excuse me, you can come in with some of your leftover pieces that you just cut. If they fit in there, all you have to do is put a very small dab of glue, stick that right in your piece there, let that dry off a minute, and then I'm going to cut off another piece on this one. Because these are really nice leaves for additional coverage. So without you having to go ahead and break off another piece if that's not what you needed. I think we're going to come into the back here actually with these, because it does have a little more negative space than elsewhere. So let's just put maybe this one here towards the very bottom. Okay. And it's a really good big leaf to cover things. And then another one on this side towards the bottom. Okay, and I know we still have some stuff here. I don't really know that we want anything there, but let's see. Because we could technically stick another leaf in there, but you know what? I think we're going to have other things that we could possibly use. So we'll stick this guy in. And that's a little too big, that piece. See if we have a smaller piece. No, this guy's still too big. That's all right. We're being frugal. Okay. But we managed to make it work. So we're just going to come in here with another piece sticking up. Okay, so how's that looking so far? And all we've done is cover the bottom so far. Okay. So I'm just going to get rid of all these little extra pieces. And now I think it's time to start figuring out. I like to kind of, sometimes it depends on what we're doing. Sometimes I like to put in our most prettiest flowers and then work to our filler. And then sometimes I like to do our filler and then put in our flowers. I think this time, since we're trying to use all the leftovers, we're going to put in first our big focal flowers, and then we'll work in whether, you know, where all the other filler goes. Okay, so let's do these big burnt orange ones first. Okay, if I can get the price tag off. That is always like the most annoying thing with florals, guys, is how these companies put the price tags on. I don't know if they think that we are like superheroes and can get it off with one pull, but it seems like it's super glued. These leaves I'm going to pull off because there's no way in this green earth that we need a stem that's about 12.5 inches long or even 16 inches long. So we can keep these, like I said, so if we need them for filler, we can use them by attaching a quick little stem to it. If you have a pick machine, great. You don't even need to worry about anything else other than using your pick machine for this. Okay. I think we're even going to take this one off as well. All right, so I think our flowers are definitely going to go very low. I'm not going to have them come up very high at all. So we're going to start cutting off really low. Okay. And then these, I have been saving these. I basically cut a lot of the long pieces off, and then I save the long pieces, and then the rest of the bushel I do just throw out. But some of these long pieces have really come in handy for other projects that I needed a thick wire for versus having to go out and buy something just for that. So keep them if you can use them, if you're crafty and you do lots of projects. If you think this is going to be your only project, then maybe not. So let's see which one. So we have various sizes. We've got like basically 2 medium and 1 large, which is perfect. I think we're going to kind of try and see whether the 1 large would kind of look really good in the front, and then do like a medium on the side, and then this one would go more towards the back here and probably sticking more up so than not. So let's see how we can make this work. Okay, and sometimes it's about placement and whether you like seeing something somewhere or not. So this one we might just be playing around on where the big sunflower goes compared to everything else we already have in here. And this little guy seems like he's getting in the way, so I'm going to bend him in a different direction. And that's the perfect part about having all these things on wire stems, is that you can bend them wherever you want them to go. And so we're going to also see where these fit in too. Okay. So I already have a lot of orange in here. So we may not even actually use this one. We'll see how it goes. Okay. And then we have a yellow one. But we also have this really pretty purple. I love this purple, but it's really big, and we already have this really big one. I'm going to see if it even makes sense to put them in the back, but it may not. So we may not use our purple, and we may not use our orange, just because we already have a lot of orange. But we may use our yellow, because again, that's a nice big flower to get a lot of coverage with. Then let's see, we also have these little yellows. And let's see, I also had more orange. Now these are new, so not part of leftovers. These are new. So we could bring in these bright yellows just to stop using so much orange, because it's going to get muted. So we won't bring out the orange, but we'll maybe, I think these are actually the same color. Oh no, they're a little bit different. These look more like little mini sunflowers, and these looks like something else. Though I like these better because they have brown, and these are going to kind of mute up against the natural in the turkey, where this is going to bring up more of a brown. So we'll put these leftovers back, and we're actually going to use some of these, I think. Okay. So just you know, different ways that you can kind of analyze what you want to do. So I think it's time to start sticking in our big flowers here. Okay. And I think he's going to go this way. And so this piece is kind of a little bit tall here. I'll let you know in a minute how tall he really is as soon as we stick this little guy in here. And if you see me bending things, it's just trying to move the wire to where we want it to go. And then fixing all our leather leaves so that they look like they're growing together and not just smushed together. Okay. And let's see how tall he is actually. Get our measuring tape out while that dries. This is about 14 inches tall. So from the table to the height of his feather tail here, that he's about 14 inches tall. So he's a good size centerpiece. Definitely would make a statement piece. And this is definitely one of a kind. You're not going to find this at your Home Goods or your Hobby Lobby, and then you go to your neighbor's house and they have the same one. This will be listed in our Etsy shop later tonight, as soon as we take some pictures with our photography lights, because our shop lights are not meant for taking photos. They come out way too dark. Not a great indication of what the real colors are. Okay. So let's get this guy, you know what? Try to see if maybe we can sneak this guy in here. I think we can. I'm probably going to bring this one on this side because he is, so this flower is pretty similar to this one, and so I don't want them too close next to each other. I'm going to kind of diagonal them. So this one will be across from this one, which is similar, and this one will be across from this one, which is similar. So we're going to change them and put this one here in the back, and we're going to put this one here on this back side. Okay, so we're going to change that part up. Alright, so let's sneak this guy in here without burning ourselves or getting glue everywhere. That's the trickiest part. And then the other tricky part is sneaking your fingers in there. Thankfully I have a little bit of small hands. Okay, got a little bit of glue on ourselves, but not much. And let's stick this guy in there. Okay. And if your fingers ever hurt to do this, grab a pair of needle nose pliers. They don't have to be big, you can just use these little jewelry ones. You can grab onto the stem. I do this sometimes, and I just push on down in there. Okay. So that looks a little bit better for my liking there. And I'm just checking the sides to see how the coverage is towards the bottom, so that if you can see things or not. You can still see a little bit, but we're not done by any means over here. So now we've stuck those in. We still have this one little yellow one, and I am going to use it. I think what we're going to do is just kind of push it a little bit towards the side so that we can get a little bit more in here. I think this is still just really too big. I don't think we're going to use this guy. I love, love, love this one. If I can find 2 more this year, we'll use something else with that. But for now, he's going to have to go back in his little holding pattern bin. Okay, let's cut off a little bit. And these are actual picks. So these aren't cuts from a bushel. These are actual picks from Hobby Lobby. And make sure to turn your leaves wherever you want them to go. Okay. Sure nothing is getting squished. Sure it still looks like it's a happy nature marriage. Okay. How do you guys like that so far? Is it looking good so far? Can let us know what you think. Alright, now I think what we're going to grab is our yellows. So these little yellows. Okay. And let's just start. So these leaves move up, which is perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So you can shoot them up. And we're going to kind of cut halfway in between the stem. But I like when these leaves move up because not 100% of the times do you have the same amount of space in between everything. These little green doodads are just everywhere. It's like these little beads rolling around. Trying to make sure they don't get on the computer. move this guy back. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Let's do 3 for now and see how that goes. 3 for now. And maybe something like right there. I might change my mind. Maybe right here. I lost it. Here it is. And then maybe right here so that it's kind of going front and back. I like that. So I get to a point that I am going to use that whole let's take a look method, but I'm not sticking it in the styrofoam. I'm just kind of placing it to see how it would work and would it look good. Okay. And here's our other one. Let's spin this guy around. See where he's going to go. So he's going to go right down on in here. And I think we're trying to get him in between both spots, but I think what happened is I pushed him too short. So he got a little off kilter where he was supposed to be. That's alright, we'll push this one back more. Push this one back more. And I like to just kind of have a bird's eye view of where the styrofoam is before I put the glue on so that I know the glue's not dripping anywhere while I'm still searching for styrofoam. Okay. And so when you move the leaves out of the way, you just gotta move them back in, but nicely. Again, so that it looks like natural versus smushed together. Okay. Perfect. I like that. Now let's see what we have for other leaves. We do have more green leaves. Not green leaves, I mean cream color leaves and fall-like leaves. So we have these cream and more like tan. I think this is too muted, so we're going to throw that aside. And I think these might just give us a little pop of color that we want. These might not be too bad. Let's put those as an option. And let's see. I think we were trying to get rid of these little orange guys so that we don't have them left over everywhere. Do we have enough to make 3? No. But we can make 2. That's fine. Let's make 2. Let's try and use up some of the stuff we have. Okay. I'm not too concerned if we don't use the rest of this because it's just fern looking like greenery. And this we can probably throw one to the back and kind of like one to the bottom here. Or we could do one to the bottom there and one to the bottom here. That's fine. Let's do that. Let's do one on each side first. Let's find our styrofoam. And sneak that in there. So it's just meant to like kind of peek out. I don't want this to be a huge focal piece. It's more just like a little tiny detail. And I forgot to find our styrofoam. Do as I say, not as I do. That's fine. So let's move this guy in between here. And sometimes you just gotta fish it with it. Okay, so see how it's just a tiny bit of detail? It's not a ton, but it's not something that's overbearing. I'm still debating on whether we use these. You know what, we're gonna cut one stem here and test it out. Because these are those really nice big fall leaves that you see on the maple trees. Here in New England we get the really nicest looking, you know, fall bloom and fall foliage. So let's see if that's going to even work. Or if this is going to be counterproductive. Oh, we lost our yellow stem in here. That wasn't good. Poor little thing. Got covered. You know, I'm probably not going to add this because it's not singing to me. It's not singing like, looks great. It's singing to me like, no, maybe not. Let's talk about these guys. Do these guys still fit somewhere that we talked about, like these little Japanese lantern guys? Because I know we put in these little wingy-dings. But do these Japanese lanterns still speak to us? And I'm just trying to move it around to see whether I like them, don't like them. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. You guys let me know if you like them, but I don't find that I'm liking them. All right, so what we're gonna grab is a couple of extra stems, small stems, that we keep on hand to add to our leaves. So like these leaves, because I feel like we need a couple of more pieces down out in here. So let's grab some really big ones. This one is ripped, so we're not going to use that guy. This one looks good. Again, you don't need a lot of glue. I'm just going to stick that stem in there, let that dry. Find a nice stem. And you can do this with a pick machine, but if you don't have a pick machine, because they're super expensive, this is just another alternative. And this guy has holes in him from the manufacturer. Okay, so let's go with these 3. Again, so this is a really great alternative than having a pig machine. If you don't have one, it's okay. So we're gonna stick this guy pretty much straight up in the middle here. Just so I know I'm not looking at the bottom of the basket. Okay. I just feel like there's a couple of spots that I want to cover up a little bit more. Before we go any further. Perfect. Okay. This guy I'm going to bend a little bit. Okay. And perfect. And I feel like we need one more. One more. Let's find one more. Super tiny pieces we keep. Just to be able to do this. Okay, so let's dry that off a little bit, and so we're going to stick one more right in here. So I just feel like it's a little bit of a naked spot. Okay. And so then we're going to decide what we want to do. Do we want to do acorns? Do we want to do pumpkins? Do we want to just do some accent ribbon? Or do we want to just leave it alone? I think it's done, maybe. Maybe you all think it's done. You know? Oh, perfect. So now I'm not seeing any big, oh, maybe one more. Wasn't seeing any huge empty spaces. Except for that one little piece. Our little stems are buried. Here they are. So let's put this back in here. Okay. And we're going to spin this guy around. We got one more little spot in here. It's easier to see from this side. Right here. Perfect. Okay. All right. So now we'll bring up some of our accent pieces that we're thinking about doing. We've got acorns. Pumpkins. Acorns, pumpkins, and we've got ribbon. Or we could leave it alone if you guys think it's done. What do you guys think? Do you have a preference? I'm gonna move some of this stuff while you guys let me know what you think. I need a little name for this girl. The ribbon, I mean, if we took the time, we could weave it into the basket, but that's going to take a little while. What we could do is give the turkey a small bow. We could also weave in some tails hanging. So what I could show you what I mean. Angie likes the pumpkins. So this is a brand new ribbon roll. I love this ribbon. And I don't know that we listed this in our Etsy shop yet, but it will be soon. And it will come in 5-yard increments. So what we could do, let's just measure out. So you're going to need something shorter here. So what does this measure out to be? Probably about, so we're probably going to need about 10 inches. So let's measure out about 10 inches. And I'll show you what we could do with the ribbons as an example. So let's just test this out. Okay. So if we fold this, and just like if you're going to do on a wreath, okay, but you're going to have a V shape, and so what we would need to do is take some pipe cleaners. I have some leftover pieces here, so let's just take a black, small little piece of pipe cleaner, and all we're going to do is tie that in a knot. Okay, and bring that to the back, and this, we won't put it into our piece yet, but basically what would happen is we could, and if we wanted to make it longer, we may actually need to make the tails longer because our styrofoam is actually in a lot further, but technically all I would want to do is hang them out here like this, so that it just adds a little bit of accent. So I'd technically cut them a lot longer actually. I forgot the styrofoam was in further. So we may want to cut them about 1, 2, 3. So if I sneak them in here, we need them to be about 3 more inches longer on either side. So I think we cut them at 10, so we'd probably need 16 inches cut, and we don't have to do a lot of these. We could just do maybe like 3 of them to just kind of spray around the basket a little bit. What do you think? What do you guys think about adding ribbon tails? I think that would look really cute. Or if you didn't want ribbon tails, technically, actually, we could do this too. So it's up to you guys. I won't fidget with that any longer. We could add some raffia, but since there's so many florals, I didn't want to do the raffia, but it's an option, and not the way I'm bunching it, but basically just to give you a look, is that you would have kind of some raffia sticking in and out. I'm not a fan of the raffia, but you guys might be. For this project, I'm a fan of raffia period, but not for this project technically. So I think the ribbon tails would be our best bet. And then I do think if we add the pumpkins, that would be a perfect combination because we've got white pumpkins and a little bit of extra green. So why don't we try this? Let's do 3 16-inch tails, or do 1 for now at least. Let's do a 16-inch tail. We'll try it on one of them. And And I was gonna say let's shut off the glue pot because it is steaming glue in here. But we might need it. All right, so now if we fold this in half, okay? And what we're gonna do is the same thing, just pinch in the middle. Okay, so now you have a really big tail, okay? And that would reach so that you have this tail kind of sticking out in between all your floral pieces and just a tiny bit of overhang. I really do like that. We're gonna go with it. What do you guys think? Overkill? I like it. I like it, so we're gonna do it. We may need slightly longer pipe cleaners, but alright, so I'm going to twist the whole pipe cleaner shut so that it gives me a lot. Ooh, that was a dab of the glue pot on the skin. Alright, so let's find our styrofoam and push our pipe cleaner in if it wants to go. Hopefully it wants to go. Perfect. And so see how we could just marry this in here. And it just looks like a natural ribbon, decorative ribbon, okay, coming out of our piece here. I think we're going to definitely do that. What do you guys think? Do you like the ribbon? I'm going to move these acorns out of the way because I'm deciding we're not doing acorns. And we've got acorns rolling around. So how does that ribbon look to you guys? I love it, to be honest with you. So let's do 2 more pieces at least. Let's do that one and another. Okay. Angie had it right. Definitely with the pumpkins with some tails. Angie had it right. She called it. And we're just cutting at an angle to make that little V shape on our tails. And all I'm doing, we're going to get our ribbon stash out of here before it falls in our glue and then we cry for having wasted ribbon. Alright, so we're going to come in here and just pinch in the middle. We're going to fluff these ribbons up by giving them a curve. See that curve? It's so much easier once you get it in your masterpiece creation here if you already have a curve in it. You're not fighting with all your pieces to try and make sure that you can get a bend. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and bend it into like a V. And then we're going to kind of stick this one coming out somewhere from over here. We might put one more besides 3. And what we're going to do right now is get rid of all this stuff on the table so that we are not making a mess with our project. Okay, So this guy is going to go somewhere right here. Alright, we're just trying to find the happy place for the styrofoam to go to. And we're going to be very careful because we just almost burnt ourselves. This piece of pipe cleaner is really small. And if you have trouble getting it in, we will probably just use our pliers, our needle nose pliers, instead of burning our fingers. It's all about using leftover stuff today. You know? So we've got this extra pipe cleaner stuff. Let's use that too. Look how nicely that falls. Really nice, really nice. I think we're only going to use one more actually. I thought maybe we needed 4, but I think 3 is going to be good enough. I'm not going to put one right directly behind his bum because he's already got tail feathers. I don't think he needs anything else to look like tail feathers. We need one more pipe cleaner. Just looking for a dark one. A dark one will do. Okay. So again, just go to the middle and then I'm just really tightening this. And I'm twisting the entire pipe cleaner shut together because I don't know that that won't come undone otherwise. I'm gonna find a spot for this guy without burning ourselves, without burning the ribbon. So that's why we've resorted to our needle nose pliers. I can just bring him over here for you guys to see. It's kind of hard to see because we are getting him in here, and I just lost a twig on our turkey. So we're going to need to get that back in there too. So this little twig that was glued in by the manufacturer just kind of came out. It's fine. Just stuck him back in there. Nope. And our ribbon was not secure yet. So what you can do is also wrap your pipe cleaner around an extra piece of wire. And do the same thing. This pipe cleaner seemed like it had had better days already. Now I think we're okay. And just break up where the ribbon tails are. Oh my goodness, love it. Love it, love it. And we could play with the leaves all day. Just rearranging things. Okay, now where are these pumpkins gonna go? I think they should go pretty close to where our ribbon is. If I don't say so myself. But they can totally be bent. It's just, do we have the actual strength to bend them? So let's take these off. Oh, again with the price tags. Do they not know? Let's hope we don't see that price tag in there. Let's hope. Alright guys, we're almost done. Almost done. If I'm going to be able to bend this, we'll see. Oh, it's a miracle. Okay. So, I might be able to throw these in here. It's kind of nestled in with the ribbon tails. Let's see how that goes. Thankfully, I don't think we'll see the price tag. Maybe right here. Oh, that's looking really cute. I like that. This little guy needs a little bit of help. Hold on. Need a little bit of surgery. We gotta hold this guy for a minute. I think he needed a little bit of surgery. So I'm liking this. We'll put the pumpkins towards the ribbon tails. Again, we can fidget with the placement of things for a while. All right, good. He's good. And then this one would go over here. This one's kind of sticking out, this one's going up, this one's sticking out. And kind of down. Alright, let's try and put these guys in here somehow. Some way. And then we're done. Done, done, done. Nothing else. No bow. We're good. Okay. Let's try and not catch our ribbon. We smushed our ribbon a little bit, but good thing it's wired, it comes back to life. It's the best part about using wired ribbon. Okay, 1 down, 2 to go. And actually this one I'm going to bend him back because he actually could use to go straight. We need a little more glue. Let's try our pliers and make sure he's in all the way. There we go. That's better. And one more. One more. This is the hardest side to see where the styrofoam still is. We tacked this side really good. But we really do need to find it in order to do this. Okay. Last one, gang. Oh, there we go. All right. What do you guys think? I think that's a wrap. I get all this stuff out of the way so it's not so confusing. What do you guys think? Like it, love it, hate it. We save these. Like I said, we can use them somewhere else. Moving everything out of the way so you can see the finished product by itself. Move our glue as well. So here it goes. So I'm going to turn it around. Keep turning so you guys can see. You like it? And there she is. So we have a bunch of fall stuff. So if you guys don't like turkeys, you can also do this kind of centerpiece with fabric pumpkins. We have these fabric pumpkins in the shop listed right now in our Etsy shop. These are manufactured again outside our shop. So we have a combination in our shop of handmade stuff in here, and then manufactured stuff that we also do retail for. So these are one in green and one in orange. They are $8.99 each in our shop. We also have other fall items that if you wanted to do wreaths, then these are wreath attachments. These are our scarecrow wreath attachments. This is the unfringed leg, but there is a fringed leg also available. It comes with a stitched pocket and a matching scarecrow hat. This scarecrow hat actually isn't done yet, but the scarecrow hat comes with another sunflower on it and wrapped in denim. And then I was trying to see if there was anything else for fall options to give you guys that are in our shop. We have these fall ribbons as well. So we have obviously the green moss pumpkin, green with white moss pumpkin. We have the tan with white pumpkin. These sunflower ribbons and scarecrow ribbon of a couple of sorts. So there's lots of fall options out available for you, or if you wanted solid orange ribbon, we have some rolls of those left. But either way, they're all in our Etsy shop. You can put lots of different things together for the fall or for Thanksgiving. It's a great time to start thinking about it now and getting all the materials that you need before they are gone. Okay, guys? All right, so that's it for me. Thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you coming by our channel. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to do so. Share this with your friends. And if you want to know when we come back on, just click that little notification bell icon, and YouTube should let you know when we're on. But generally, we'll be on YouTube on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. with a live tutorial. All right, guys, Kathy signing off from Santa Marta Designs. Thank you very much for coming out. See you guys next week. Bye.